as Lauren said, I started Insight Plant Health in 2020, and my customers are other ag companies, and we focus mainly on biological products. And as Ashburr said, biological products that don't work as well as we want them to usually. But one of the things that does work well as a biological product and has been around for over 100 years is peat inoculants. So rhizobial inoculants for soybeans and lentils here, peas, faba beans, other legumes. And so those peat inoculants, like I said, have been around for a really long time and provide pretty consistent benefits when they're used. One thing we heard again and again, though, from our customers, from other ag companies, is that they're looking for a replacement for peat. So peat right now costs about $1.50 a kilo in Minnesota, where it's mined. So you think about when you buy a bag of granular inoculant, if you have to pay $1.50 just for the peat itself, ship it all the way up to, most of them are in Saskatoon or Winnipeg, inoculate it, bag it, and then sell it on, the margins are terrible, especially for biologicals, because the margins are usually really good. So the companies aren't used to it and they're looking for something else. So we thought, well, that sounds like it should be pretty easy. So we'll try and make something that can replace granular peat inoculants. And so we tested lots and lots of different things. There's about 15,000 tons per year of granular inoculant that goes out. So right away you need something that you can get 15,000 tons of every year consistently. And so that limits a lot of the things. You're looking at kind of pulp and paper products or agricultural byproducts. And so we tested, anything we could get our hands on, and we found that using seed hulls worked pretty well. If we could add in things to keep the rhizobia alive. So we tested that over the last couple of years. We just got a patent issued for the process and for the concept. And so we basically now what we're doing is we're taking seed hulls, we're putting them through a feed mill to make tiny little pellets, like pellets about 2 millimeters in size. And then we're adding in what we call biological viability compounds. And those are things that keep the rhizobia alive, and then we're putting the rhizobia on them. And if you were lucky, one of the lucky participants who got to have a handout, you can see there's a graph on there that shows that we can keep the rhizobia alive as long as you can on peat. So we've done it out to 30 months, or 30 weeks now rather, and the rhizobia are still at what a label rate would be. So this trial right here is basically just to see, does it work in the field? We've done all the lab testing. We know it handles similarly to peat. It lets the rhizobia grow, same as peat. You can bag it, you can store it, you can put 2 tons on top of it, and then it'll still flow through screens and stuff. So we know that part works. And so we're testing on red lentils, small red lentils, 3 different prototypes of the clean granular technology against Celtec, which is just a standard single action peat inoculant, granular inoculant. And we're testing it here in Outlook, at Scott Research Farm, and then in Swift Current as well. And this is the first year of 2 years. And the second part of this same project, the same ADF project, is to work with PAMI to put it through air seeding systems and see if we can get it to, how hard it is to keep calibration and metering, whether there's a lot of dust comes off, whether there's buildup in the lines and that sort of stuff. So that'll happen in this fall, and then we'll have our second season for the field trials next year. So with that, I'll take any questions. Yeah, it should, right? Because it's a lot cheaper, right? So seed hulls are, usually kind of given away. And the manufacturing, because you can do it through a feed mill, and there's a lot of feed mills around, right? And it's pretty cheap to get it put through. So the cost to develop, or the cost to manufacture it, will be a lot less. Now, we're a company with 3 people in it, so we're not going to be the manufacturer of this product unless we get a bunch of money and build a big plant. So whether whether the actual seller will pass that down, I don't know, but it could be. It definitely could be. Yeah. It's pretty consistent. So we're measuring stand, nodulation, and then yield at the end. The problem with running rhizobia trials in Saskatchewan is that finding places that don't have rhizobia in the soil is really, really hard. So yeah, that's been an issue. But they all look similar so far. Yeah, in storage, so we're out to 30 weeks now, and it's the same as peat is. Yeah, that's kind of the trick, is to get it to last a long time at room temperature in a bag, right? So you mean like the granules themselves, like the plants? I mean, yeah, they don't grow on some stuff. So pea hulls work really well. Oat hulls are really hard to pellet, but apart from that, they work okay. Like weird stuff like drywall, waste drywall works actually pretty well. But yeah, pulp and paper doesn't work. Wood chips don't work. Sawdust didn't work. And then with plants, canola didn't work, which really sucked because there's a lot of it, like a lot of screenings you could use, but yeah, it didn't work. So peas, lentils, and oats were kind of our top 3. And of those, peas are the easiest to work with. They're also the most expensive, but they're the easiest to work with. Yeah, so we've tried with the pea lentil faba bean strain, the chickpea strain, soybeans, and then alfalfa as well. And they all seem to be fine. So pea lentil is the hardest one to keep alive, and it works. So. Yeah, there is. So that was kind of an early problem we had with you'd get a lot of like fusarium and stuff growing off of the hulls. So during the process, when you run it through a feed mill, it goes through a thing called a conditioner, and that just blows steam at it. So you really have to slow down your conditioner residence time to try and kill everything while it's in the conditioner and then get it in. And then you have to test it too. And so to get a registered product through CFIA, you have to have like low levels of anything, right? And so it'll all be tested. But yeah, that definitely is a problem.